It all started as a story. A single piece of text that people enjoyed to read. It was a way of passing the time with jolts of fear and suspense, wondering if it were real or not. People would read them, contemplate them, then laugh with friends about them. I was one of those, one of the lucky ones, blessed with ignorance. Then I made a suggestion that I should start hunting the objects. My friends laughed at me, saying that they were just stories. I was just as doubtful as them, but something was nagging at me to continue. This much is all that I remember from my former life. My blissfully unaware life. They say that ignorance is bliss, and until I took on this task, I thought that those were the words of those who are content to be ignorant. Now, however, I see that those are the words of those who are driven insane by knowledge. I started my search with the holder of data. When I awoke the next morning, I found that my laptop, the one that I had used to try and find the holder of data, was gone. No trace of it could be found. I didn't know what happened to it, and I wasn't brave enough to search for it. In its place, there was another laptop, one that was pure black. The lettering on the keyboard was illegible to me, but somehow I recognized the symbols. I can't explain it much better than that. Everyone else who saw it thought that it was some strange language. A few said it was reminiscent to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Others said that it was close to Arabic. No one could seem to pin them down to a region, so I gave up trying to figure it out. I could understand this language, or rather I could translate it to English. That was good enough for me. My second hunt was the holder of absence. That red ink is tempting. I want so badly to read the words that are scrawled across the paper, but I cannot bring myself to open the sheet and read it. I only looked through the thin lining of the material to confirm that it was, in fact, the object that I was searching for. I then, regrettably, had another read it, but the moment their eyes looked at the lettering, a blood-curdling scream rang through my ears, and they were gone. The paper that they held laying on the floor where they stood. I tried to leave it behind to avoid the temptation to open it, but no matter what I did, it found its way back to my pocket. Not even burning it worked. So eventually, I gave up throwing it away, and now live with the temptation of opening the accursed paper. I next followed the holder of fortune. It wasn't a hard task per se. It was unnerving. I killed a man. A fellow seeker like me, who had become the holder of fortune. He failed his task, and left hints on how to find him and how to claim his item. He begged for death, being unable to die or take his own life. So I gave him his wish. The holder of fortune is now dead, and I run the risk of becoming that holder myself. I earned a coin with no worth for my troubles. Although something in my bones tells me it will one day be the most valuable object on the planet. Or at least to me anyway. I will never let this out of my sight. I searched long and hard, finding more and more objects each month. Every time I found one, I felt a small tingle of joy welling up inside me. But at the same time, a burning desire to collect them all, to gather them all together. The shield from the holder of solitude saved my hide more times than I could remember. The sword of the White King from the holder of peace has slain many of my foes. Many whom have tried to stop my progress, holders, seekers, and even civilians who have gotten in my way. I acquired many objects: guns, swords, clothing. Each one had its own unique trial, and each one ripped another piece of my soul from my body. By the time I had collected 152 of the 538 objects, I was about ready to give up, to leave it all behind. Then, a new idea occurred to me. I shall write a piece detailing a few of the objects that I have gathered, then leave them for other people to find, for other seekers to find. I shall become a holder. I am the holder of many. I hold 152 of the 538 objects, and I am tired. I beg of you to find me and end my existence by forcing me to read the red ink on the paper. I will resist, no doubt, but you must subdue me by any means necessary. Do not hesitate. Do not waver in your trial, for the reward will be great. I hope that you do not succumb to madness.